What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Fringe. If you ever needed a reason to believe, I know it's tough, but to believe that Canada is truly broken under 10 years of Justin Trudeau and now moving into an 11th year of Liberal power with Mark Carney, look no further than a new article or video that's making its rounds on social media, and a lot of people forwarded this to me over the weekend. I know my my media assistant, Master of Snatch, one of our amazing mods in the channel, shout out to him as well, including a plethora of other people, sent me this over the long weekend. It's alarming. But we're here to talk about it today because Pierre Poilievre has discussed to a great extent how people can't afford rent, kids living in their parents' basements, student workers are, foreign student workers, I should use that word, are taking all the jobs from our youth. They can't get a job anywhere. Rent is unachievable. I've seen rentals in Calgary, where I used to live, going for as high as $4,000 a month. I don't know how people do it. Honestly, I really don't know. I certainly don't know how today's youth would afford anything, especially in cities like Toronto or Vancouver, anywhere else. I know I have family that live in the Vancouver region that say if their roommates moved out, they couldn't afford their home. Well, now there's an image and a video circulating around online. Again, this was sent to me over the weekend because people are starting to talk about it. I guess it went unnoticed, but we're going to talk about that today. Activities for rent. You guys can see it up here. You know, I got to censor it because of YouTube. Shout out to the censors. Certain activities for rent contracts in Canada are becoming popular. Undercover investigation catches one in the act in a video below. Is this how Canada has fallen? Where shady landlords are trying to take advantage of young, vulnerable girls. You can see here, arrangements are now becoming popular in Canada. There is a video, however, this video is from CBC, the Clown Broadcasting Corporation, which is what makes this even more alarming than it already is. Because this is the state-paid media that takes government money, that doesn't talk to their government officials directly and say, hey, look at what we found. This is a major problem. Something needs to be done. No, instead they tell everybody to get their elbows up and sing along with Mark Carney. You can see that this article actually came out back in March, on March 14th of 2025, and it's been making its rounds since then. By the way, I have to point out how the CBC, I know they're advertising their show on the side here, but usually there's another ad up here. This is a state-funded broadcaster, again, that takes ad revenue from, or takes revenue by the millions from our government, but then also takes sponsor money. There you go. Oh no, that's for CBC as well. Got a little off topic there. Free room for rent, but there's a catch. Undercover investigation exposes a shelter for activity ads. Soliciting for rent is illegal, but Marketplace found more than a dozen exploitive ads. When you think about the amount of undesirable migrants coming to this country who are given thousands of dollars per month, what do you think they're going to do to take advantage of this? Rental ad on Craigslist offers up one bedroom with a warm bed available, but instead of a price tag, it comes with a description of who qualifies to sleep there. A, quote, young petite female looking to escape the cold. When a Marketplace journalist posing as a student in need of housing responded to the listing and met the man behind it, he revealed the true cost. Quote, we fool around a little bit here and there, he said. If you're not into actually doing those things, that's cool. We can do other things, he added, before naming the specific acts he expected in exchange for staying in his home rent-free. A Marketplace investigation found that ads offering shelter in exchange for these activities are not only common on popular rental sites, but they are also often targeting young women and international students specifically. While some ads are explicit about their demands, others are subtle, putting unsuspecting responders at risk, advocates for women warn. Soliciting these actions for housing is illegal in Canada. Again, this article came out in March. This other stuff's circulating now on X, on other social media sites, and it's September. So obviously the police have done nothing about it, because why would they give a damn about anything in this country? It's also a growing trend, according to Brampton Regional Council, Rowena Santos, particularly as the housing crisis makes it increasingly difficult to find an affordable place to live. Again, this was in March. So this is before things even got ridiculously worse than they already were in terms of the cost. I've been told rents have gone up almost 10% this year in some larger places to live, like Toronto. If that's the case, if someone were charging $4,000 a month, that's an extra $400 a month people are being billed now. If that was the case. Again, I don't live in Toronto. I'm not going to pretend to understand that. Santos began drawing attention to the issue last year after a listing offered free rent in exchange for a friends with benefits relationship went viral. However, there was some skepticism about the ad's authenticity. When asked for comment by a local newspaper, the director of Small Ownership Landlords of Ontario said it was likely fake. Well, again, the video proves otherwise. I've had a hard time believing it, Kevin Costain said, adding that anyone from any country could have posted it. So Marketplace set out to find whether or not this was a real offer. It says, every inquiry made to the 10 overt ads received a response, with 8 responders confirming that they expected friends with benefits as payment. In one case, the person renting their home asked for pictures of people with their clothes off and their age just for an application. So you gotta fit the mold to get inside, I guess. Another respondent saying, I'm not looking for a girlfriend, just some fun from time to time when the need arises. None of the individuals behind the ads identified themselves, and most refused to provide a phone number, preferring to communicate anonymously through the rental platform. A lot of people use programs like WhatsApp as well, Snapchat, all these different online applications. And I know this because I do have younger family members who, when I brought this up, said, yeah, I've heard about that happening. Take a listen to one of the ads that were found here. Again, this was back in March. So just think about how much it's expanded since then with our ever-growing contributions from the RCMP and their endless quest to rid the country of crime. I'm being sarcastic, by the way. I can already feel people typing in the comments. While some ads make clear what's expected, others use more subtle, deliberately vague language. Let's see if we can draw from what is meant here. The 10 covert ads on Marketplace responded to be more nebulous, describing arrangements for open-minded young women and students who may be struggling with housing, with the listings offering favorable opportunities or acts of support. So here's the ad. Warm bed to share with petite female. Get out of the cold. Come stay warm, girl. You can tell by the text who wrote that. I can almost guarantee you that is a man from India. This is one of the ads a Marketplace responded. The man behind the ad made it very clear he was looking for certain services, such as friends with benefits, in return for housing, when an undercover journalist met with him to ask if he was looking for payment. Janine Benedette, a lawyer and professor at the University of British Columbia's Peter A. Allard School of Law, says young women can unwittingly walk into these situations because the advertiser's intent is not always obvious. Maybe the women who answer the ad aren't quite sure about what's being proposed, she said. She's hopeful it might be a genuine offer of accommodation, and then, she's lured into this arrangement. So first off, what you have to look at here is no price is discussed. Like, you'd have to be stupid, legally stupid, to read this and think, oh, it's just a free room to share. It's not a big deal, right? Warm bed to share with petite female? How more direct can you get than that? You'd have to be pretty thick to think that, oh, that's safe. That doesn't sound like anything's expected of me at all. I just can't believe that they quote that maybe the women who answer this aren't sure what's being proposed. Really? If this lady's a lawyer, she should probably go back to school and have her intelligence assessed. Says a Craigslist advertiser offering a free room to young students struggling with housing responded to the journalist's inquiry to stay free in my place and just consider you will have to suck my, well, use your imagination. My Pierre poilievre. The PP. Another advertiser who has been, I know, I'm already chuckling at it. I'm sure people like that joke. Another advertiser who's been seeking a female looking for cheap rent for help suggested he'd cover school expenses along with free rent in return for ongoing friends with benefits and private messages. He later followed up with a picture of his Pierre poilievre, adding, I'm experienced and it's going to feel good. This is where we are, folks. You have to ask yourselves, did you ever think you'd live in a country that's this messed up? That this is how people have to get by? How would you feel if this was your son or daughter out looking for a place to live? And of course, they're not going to tell you what's being offered to them, but they don't want to disappoint their parents. So they take up an offer like this simply to get housing and be able to go to school, be able to work a job, save some money. How would you feel knowing that this was your child being treated this way by what's most likely a gimmie-grant who's getting his account stacked with free money from our government while our borders are open, while they're allowed to just run rampant in our society and do as they please. Until something is done in the House of Commons, folks, until government changes, until these woke policies are changed, nothing is going to change. And that's the biggest problem of all. How much worse can it get? Let me know what you think down below. If it's your first time here, I hope this video earned your subscription. Make sure you leave a thumbs up or a comment down below. It's free, it helps the channel, and it helps push the video out past the censors. I do apologize we couldn't show the video clip. CBC likes to claim copyright on anything that you do from that extent, so we have to be careful here, folks. Join me live here on the channel every Wednesday and Friday night for Unhinged Fringe on Wednesdays, Friday Night Fringe on Fridays, where I'm joined by a plethora of new co-hosts, as well as the beautiful Mrs. Fringe on Fridays, as we talk about everything that's happened this week in Canadian politics, everything we know coming up in the week ahead, as well as your Q&A within the greatest YouTube community on the platform. I look forward to chatting with you guys outside of making these videos. I always look forward to chatting with you, especially this week, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, Wednesday and Friday nights here on the channel. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.